Greetings, students. I'm Professor Benavides, and let's talk about installing the software that you need for COSC 1315 on your Mac. Okay, there's three things that we need. We're going to need, number one, the JDK Netbeans bundle. Number two, the Alice program. And number three, the Alice plugin for Netbeans. Now, what I've done here is I've gone to the author's website and clicked on the link for the PDF. But as you may know, as soon as you write things down in technology, things change. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click through it and figure it out as I go along. But I will be using the links that she provides because you need to install the software the way she wants you to install it. That is Dr. Daly, right? So the way I got to this is I went to Unit 1 Overview, read this first, and there's a link there for required software. It takes you to the author's website for her book, and I clicked on the instructions for the Mac. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut this into three parts because I don't want to have you waiting around for this thing to install because things can take quite a lot of time. So I'll go ahead and as soon as the thing gets going, I'll go ahead and stop, and then I'll resume after it finishes and continue to the next step, okay? So step one is install the Java Netbeans bundle. This is what we need because it's the foundation here for our class. We're gonna study not only Java, but we're gonna study Alice. And you gotta install this first because Alice was built on Java. Okay, so let's go ahead and just get this out of the way first. So I'm going to go ahead and come over here and click on the JDK and Netbeans bundle, and that takes us to where she wants us to go. Otherwise, you'll end up on, downloading a different Netbeans, and your screen won't match the book. And if you're a beginner, you don't want to be doing stuff like that. Okay, so all you got to do now is you got to just match up to your operating system. We're on a Mac. So I'm going to click on this little link right here and see what happens. Now somebody came up here at the top and it says, sorry, you must accept the license agreement. Okay, I forgot to do that. You should, I've done this a million times. So you've got to click on this little accept the license agreement button. Then you can go ahead and click on the link. All right, so now you get a little dialog box. And I see that this file that ends in DMG, which is a disk image file, is going to be deposited in the downloads folder. Okay, so all I want to do is acknowledge that so that I know where this is. And then, oh, by the way, I need to go ahead and tell you what am I using this on, or what browser am I using, because your experience may be different depending upon what browser you're using. I'm using Chrome. So the viewing experience that you get may be different. On the lower left, you may not even see this. It's almost like they don't want you to see it. It says that file can't be downloaded securely. And there's only one, in other words, nothing is happening. We've got an exclamation point here. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get you to like learn how to read the screen. The only other option here is to keep. So my choices are this. I can do nothing, or I can click on keep. What do you think? Should we click on keep? Let's click on keep. Okay, so the thing starts coming to us, and it's gonna take a long time. And we'll know it's finished because there'll be an indication that it's finished here, and we could just go ahead and just go to the downloads folder and see it. But there'll be some kind of icon indication here that the file is finished on here. So the downloads folder. Now on my Mac, on the dock, I actually have a shortcut to the downloads folder. You may or may not, depending on whether you destroyed it. So I'm going to click on it. and I'm going to click on Open in Finder. Now, I probably have a lot of other things on here. So let me go ahead and click on it. And I'm going to go ahead and delete the other things so that they won't be confusing things. All right, so let me go ahead and select those other things and move to trash. Okay, this way I can just concentrate on this disk image. Now, you know, you'd think I'd read the PDF, but who reads a PDF, right? So I'm looking at this, and you know, I am very tempted to go ahead and double click on this. What choices do I have, right? I've got a size on here and it's not changing. I think this is already down. It's a disk image, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna double click on it. Oh, look at that, it says opening. That's a good sign, wouldn't you say? So now it says, you know, the package here, right? So what in the world do they want us to do with this package? Makes you want a PC, right? Where you can just have an automatic install, but you know, I guess you all can handle it, right? Let's double click on this. All right, so now what does it say? Welcome to the Oracle JDK and NetBeans IDE installer. Okay, so what are we getting here? We're getting Java. Java is a programming language. And we're also getting NetBeans. What is NetBeans? NetBeans is an integrated development environment. We will use NetBeans to type in our Java code. And also I see that I've got a radio button called introduction, and then look at that. Then it says destination select, install type, installation and summary. So it looks like I got a lot of steps to go through here, right? So I guess I'll click continue. What other choices do I have, right? So let's click on continue. So what I've been trying to show you here is look at the screen and figure out the choices and make the best choice. Because whatever we write down in a PDF tomorrow, it'll be outdated. All we got to do right now is do step 1, which is get Java and the bundle. So it looks right here, it looks like I'm going to go ahead and click install. I'm not going to be messing with changing the install. That's for advanced users. So let's just accept the default. And you're going to have to put in your password if you're an administrator. So if you're not an administrator, go ahead and call whoever the administrator is and tell them to give you their password, because that's all you need to go ahead and get this going. So, you know, here we get a situation where we're almost done with this. We've got the next step is going to be summary. I don't know how long this will take. It says install time remaining less than a minute. You want to time it? I bet you it's going to be, what? You think it's going to be more than a minute? So get your timers out. But I guess I'll wait around a little while so I can see the summary. It doesn't look like it should be too much, and then we can go ahead and verify whether or not they're lying to us that this will be less than a minute. Running the package scripts. All right, so this is the installation of the Java JDK. JDK stands for the Java Development Kit. All right, and that's what includes the Java virtual machine, which provides for platform independence, the ability to run your Java program on any platform that has the Java virtual machine installed. So the installation was successful. Now that's a good, I love green check marks. I don't know about you, so let's click on close. And then now it says, do you want to move the Oracle JDK NetBeans installer to the trash? Yeah, I don't need it anymore. Because it was what was used to download the stuff, right? So a lot of people then mystified, they're saying, well, what do I do now? Did I do anything? Did I install anything? You know, I don't see anything. So let's go ahead and come over here to Finder and let's type in NetBeans just to make sure that it's there. and I just typed in NET and pressed enter, and the application is starting. Okay. Now, what you may want to do is you may want to come over here to your dock, right mouse click on this, because you're going to be using this program a whole lot, man. Let me go ahead and break it to you. Go to options and then select keep in dock. All right. We'll spend time on how to use this program later. Okay. So let's just go ahead and close this by clicking on the little red circle on the upper left. Okay. So we have completed the first step, a really, really important step. Now, the next thing that we're going to have to do is we're going to have to go ahead and come back over here to our directions for the Mac and go to the link for Alice. Now, I have seen the installation of Alice to be horrendously long. So if I need to go ahead and break this, I will. So let's see where we are. We just finished step 1. We didn't read any directions like a typical student, right? Then we're going to talk about Alice. Now, here's the situation with Alice. Are you going to be working at our college open lab or in our classroom at the Spring Creek campus or any place? If so, you need to download Alice 3.5. If you're not, you can download 3.6. I'll show you where both are. Why? Because the situation is this. If you download 3.6 and you get a project in Alice, you're not going to be able to take it to our lab because it has 3.5 and it can't open 3.6. You got me? So this may or may not be an issue for you. So here's your choices. Here are your choices. If you want to come to our lab or you just want to play it safe, you don't know whether you're going to use our lab or not, you're going to have to end up going to our archive builds and install Alice from there. Otherwise, you can just get the regular Alice. Now, I'm going to have to install the new one because just in case I have students that I don't want to have students have to uninstall something if they've already installed 3.6. You know what I mean? So if you have 3.6 at home, just realize I'll be able to open your work, but you're not going to be able to go to our open lab. Again, that may or may not be an issue for you, especially if you have your own laptop. So let's click on this little silly little link. And let's look around. Remember, I've been talking about looking around. Well, look, if I'm looking around, I can see that this is the link I need right here. Okay? That's going to give me 3.6. It doesn't even tell me, right? So if I need the old one, I have to come over here to Archive Builds, open that up, and come over here and download the 3.5 installer for the Mac. All right, so you got me? So hopefully you know which 2 places to click. I'm going to have to get this one, the new one. I think that's the safest one for me. So now I'm going to download another DMG file. Notice how it's going to the downloads folder. And I'm going to click save. Now this one may take a long time. The last time I did this, it was on another person's computer, and I think it took like 45 minutes. Must have been a bad day, bad time of the day, or, you know, I don't know what the situation, was, So you may or may not get lucky. Here I can see some kind of indicator as to whether or not it's complete. We didn't get a chance to see that on the other one because it came down real fast because most of the installation was online. And I think that's probably what's going to happen here too. We're going to end up getting this image. We're going to double click on it, and it's going to be downloading a lot of stuff from online. So that's the part that may end up taking some time. So yeah, I've got it. Can you see how the blinking thingy went away? How's that for computer terminology talk? I can go to my downloads folder now. I'm going to open it in the Finder so I can see better. And notice how I've only got one file, because you remember in the previous, it said, hey, do you want to get rid of the installer? And I said, yes. That's why the other file is not here, it's not bad. That's one less thing to delete. So guess what? What are my choices here? Why don't we try double clicking on this, right? Instead of reading the directions. See what happens. So something's happening. DMG file stands for disk image. Okay, so now I've got this. So I'm supposed to just double click on this or what? They say the Macs are intuitive, right? So I'm going to double click on this. And I'm going to be patient and wait. If you're not patient, you'll probably double click on it and create another situation that you for yourself that you may not want to be doing. Okay, so be patient. So it says it can't open because Apple can't check it for malicious software. Guess what? PC does the same thing, does it in a different way. Okay, notice what it says. Well, it's doing this because it wants everything to come through the Apple store, and the PC wants you to go to their store too. This is not. They want to make sure it's clean, right? So this software needs can't be opened because Apple can't check it for malicious software. So what are my choices on here? I don't see a whole lot of choices, right? Let's click on Show in Finder, and I'm back to where I was, right? So let's go ahead and go to System Preferences, the Apple icon, go to System Preferences. I'm going to go into Security, and in Privacy, I would have thought I would have seen it, something on here. Last time I did this, I had to come over here and select it, and I'm unlocking it, right? And then choose the application. Okay, so, oh, look at this. On my General tab, it's slapping me in the face. Alice 3 installer app was blocked from use because it is not from an identified developer. Well, I'm going to click on this because that's my only chance of getting through this video. All right, so let me click on Open Anyway. And then can't open because applet cannot check for malicious thingy. And what am I going to do? I'm going to say, you know what, just open the darn thing, you know, open. Okay, so that looks a little promising. And that looks even better, more promising. So I'm going to click on OK. And then now it's going to go ahead and say, hey, we're already in the setup. Cool. I thought this was going to take forever. Let's see now. We're going to go to Next. And then Accept. I mean, what are you going to say? I don't accept it? Come on. So let's go ahead and accept it. Go Next. And then this is kind of important. Don't mess with this check mark. It creates a file association. So if you double click on the data file, on your project file, it'll open it up in Alice. And you want that. Okay? We're all used to that. It's like you create your resume in Word and you got a docx file, you double click on it and it opens up, right? That's what we want. So we're going to accept that. Next. We're going to accept the destination. Only advanced users change things like this. And then it's coming down here and it's installing. All right, and it's going to where it needs to go. Okay, not too bad. So this installation process was really intuitive, wasn't it? Of course, my son, who's a total Apple user, he would say, yeah, I got it. Do this every day. Never read the directions. So completing, now I'm finished. Somehow or another, I've become like my son, right? So I think I'm finished with this, right? It doesn't start up like some other programs. So we're going to close this, close this, close this. Let's launch it from Finder. Coming up here at the top, I'm going to type in Alice. Okay, and then press enter. I just type in AL. on here, and it's not the fastest program on earth, guys. Not the fastest program on earth. I thought I was going to have to cut this up into 3 different parts, but it seems like today's a good day. You never know what kind of day you're going to get. I mean, for real, I have seen this take over an hour, you know, and it didn't seem like it did that. Okay, so this little icon is jumping up and down. I'm going to interpret that as, yeah, you want me to click you. Okay, so let's click on the silly guy. Nope. What does that mean? Is there something anywhere else that I need to be aware of? Is there anything going on in the background that I don't know of? Oh, what's this? No, this is something else. This is my Zoom thing. Zoom, Apple doesn't like Zoom either. I had to go into preference. I'm making this video with Zoom. I had to go in there and change the preferences, you know, on that. Okay. So maybe this is still installing. I'm wondering about that. Okay. So what we could do in the meantime, while that's working, let's just go ahead and open up Finder, and you'll see applications. And in applications, if you had not made the shortcut to NetBeans, you'll find NetBeans right at here, which you can launch it from here, and you'll find Alice right here on your desktop. In the applications folder as well. Let's go ahead and get the third part to this, and then come back to the silly little Alice jumping thing on here. Oh, there it is. God, did that take a long time to install? Maybe it was installing, you know, or it would just take it a long time to start. It doesn't take a long time all the time. It's just like the first time you start Alice, it takes a long time, and after that, it's pretty zippy. Okay, so this is it. I'm going to just click cancel here and go to help, and we're going to, you know, we're going to click on help again, and we're going to see, yeah, this one doesn't show you the version in help. It shows you the version up here at the top, Alice 3.6. Fine. So I don't have to come back to the silly thing. I've got Alice, you know, and I'm going to right mouse click on here, and I'm going to go to options, and I'm going to say keep in dock. Okay. So now it's right next to my NetBeans thingy. So now I need to go back and install part 3, guys. I got to go install part 3. So let's come back to our install directions for the Mac and look at part 3. Okay. So what here we got to get the plugin. So we're going to click on this little link and get. Now the thing with the plugin is this: you got to match up to whatever you downloaded. Yeah. If you downloaded Alice 3.5, you've got to get the plugin for 3.5. If you got 3.6, you got to get the one for 3.6. Let's look at their screens and figure it out. So here's the link. So all I'm doing is using the 3 links. It takes me right to my Alice 3 with NetBeans. Now, I have to put my ThinkCap on because do I want this? Didn't I already get that? Yes, I did. So that's where you have to read. You just can't click on anything you see on the screen. You know, you have to read. What I need is down here. Why'd they put that down there for? Alice NetBeans plugin. I already got this silly thing, the NetBeans with Java, right? I probably should have just done it from here, but the author wanted you to click on her link. Fine. All right, so here we are. And the idea is this, just like before, to get to 3.6, I click on the one that doesn't tell you it's 3.6. Why? Because it's the latest. If I want the older one, I got to go to the archive NetBeans plugins and then get the 3.5. This is not a real link here. The link is down below. So if you install 3.5 so that you can go back to our lab, you're going to go ahead and download this file. Capiche? All right. So now we're coming. I need to get the latest one. So that's the safest one for me, so that anybody can send me their stuff. Okay, so we're going to need this so that we can go ahead and bring in our Alice project into NetBeans. So I'm clicking on that. Now it says, hey, I want to go ahead and put this file that ends in NBM, and I want to put it in the downloads folder. Now, don't try and open this file, okay? It's something that we don't open. I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do with it in just a minute. Just click save. All right, it's coming down and it's blinking. And when it stops, I guess when it stops blinking, it's a really small file. If it's a really, I'm gonna check to see it's there. I'm just gonna check to see it's there. I'm not gonna click on it, okay? So going to the downloads, I can see it's there. I don't need to open it up and find her. I can see that it's there, okay? So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and open up Netbeans. And we're gonna look at the screens and try and figure out what we gotta do. Luckily, Java doesn't change as much as Alice. I mean, you know, with Java, you create a file, a Java file that ends in JAVA, and that's it. Okay, so here's the situation here. If you want to get that plugin installed, you're going to have to come up here to the top and click on Tools. Then what makes sense? Plugins, maybe? Do you think that could, you know? Yeah, let's click on that. Then this is where it gets weird. You got to figure out what to do next. I downloaded something, didn't I? Let's click on downloads. Download it. I don't see it. What are my choices? Add plugins. Yeah, let's click on that one. So Java would like access to your downloads folder. Why would I want to say no, right? Let's click OK. So there I see the silly little thing, right? I select it. 3.6. See, a lot of students will call, they contact me and they're saying, well, it's not working. It's not working because you installed, you installed the wrong number. If you got 3.5, you got to install the 3.5 plugin. Okay, so all I got to do now is click open. And then what I got to do now, oh, I'm going to forget this. I click, last time I did this, I clicked close, and and that's not the right thing to do. The right thing to do is click install, guys. Okay. So then we're going to go next. And accept. And update. All right, well, that's a lot of stuff to read. So we'll click on continue. And restart the silly thing. Or would you want to restart later? Let's restart it now. We want to restart it so we can make sure that it was installed properly. That's why. I mean, there's a reason for this. So those are the 3 steps, guys. We got the Java NetBeans bundle, we got Alice, and we got the plugin. Now we got to test all 3 parts. So how do you know if you've done this right? Let's go ahead and go to File, New Project. And you see this Java project from existing Alice project? That means that you installed the plugin correctly. That wasn't there before. We only had Java application. So let me go ahead and run, let me go ahead and run an example of each one of these. And I'm going to do these really fast. I just want to make sure the stuff is installed properly. You know what I mean? So I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to create a Java application first, right? So I'm going to go next, and I'm going to call it Hello World. And I'll talk to you about the details of this as we go along. I just want to get to the test. Okay, I'm going to accept all the defaults. Some of them are things that we need to know about in more detail, but I don't want to waste time here. All right, finish. Then I'm going to go inside the main function, main method, and type in my 1 line of code. All right, now I've only got 1 line of code here. I'm going to click on the play button or the run button up here. And success. See at the bottom, it says Hello World. So my Java is working correctly. My NetBeans is working correctly. So I'm going to get out of here. And now I'm going to go ahead and test Alice. So let's start Alice up. And I'm going to choose grass for the background, click OK. and I'm going to go to setup scene. I'm going to go to bipeds. I'm going to get Alice, put her on the screen, and drop her on there. Choose the first one, and I accept the default name for her. Did I do something else? I don't see her. I think I clicked something else. So let me go ahead and put her on the screen again and go slower. I'm putting Alice on the screen and I'm dropping her. I'm going to accept the default name, Alice, and click OK. Did I click cancel? There it is. I may have clicked cancel, guys. See how you can move the silly girl? All right. So we're going to come over here, go to edit code, and I'm gonna just put one line of code for her to say. I'm going to drag in. So we use tiles rather than in Alice. We use tiles to write code, and in NetBeans we type in code. So I'm going to go to custom and type in Hola Mundo. All right, and then I click run, and there it is, Hola Mundo, right? So now I'm going to go ahead and exit, and it says, do you want to save it? And I'm going to say yes. I could have saved and then exit. I'm going to go ahead and call this Hola. Okay, and look where it is. It's in a folder called project. I'm going to accept all the defaults. Personally, I like to save to the desktop, but I'm accepting all the defaults. Save. Okay, that's finished. So now what I want to do now is I want to bring that project into NetBeans. So we're going to start NetBeans up. I want to bring in Alice in the NetBeans. So whenever you start NetBeans, it opens up the previous project. If you want to see the code there, you have to expand these, expand and collapse till you get to the code and double click on it. Okay, but that's a distraction. So I'm going to right mouse click on the project name and click close. I'm not deleting it. I'm going to go ahead and close. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and start a new project. So I'm going to go File, New Project, and this time, yeah, it's the first one. Java project from existing Alice project. I'm going to click Next. And I got to find a project. I know where it is. I'm going to click Browse, and it opens up to My Projects by default. The complication, and we'll talk about this complication later on, is that every project creates a folder, a BAK folder. Don't be sending those to me. Okay, you're going to get points off if you send that to me. Your project is this one. Okay, so I'm going to select this one and open. I'm going to accept the default location for this, which is going to end up being in the NetBeans project folder on your account. Click Finish. And would you like to start with a clean slate? Why would I want to say no? Let's say yes. All right, so now, same thing, I'm going to go to the method called MyFirstMethod. Notice how it's got that one line of code that I brought in there. And let me just add one more line of code. And this will be more, well, I'll elaborate on this as time goes on. Yeah. I don't know what to say, you know? But I guess I'll just say hi, you know? So to run the silly thing, I'm going to click the run thingy, the run button. And the same application, the same graphical interface will come up on the screen. So as you can see, we were able to create a graphical interface very fast using, you know, Alice. You can't create all these graphics real fast in Java. Every single thing that you put on the screen here, you'll have to write code for. But with Alice, we go ahead and just do drag and drop. Okay, I think we're finished. I'm closing that, and I'm closing NetBeans. I'll elaborate on all this as time goes on. I just wanted to go ahead and install the software for you and make sure that you have all of this on your computer at home if you've got a Mac. Okay, thank you very much. I hope you have a great time in the class. If you have any questions, attend my online office hours through Zoom. But remember, you'll have to go to System Preferences and make sure that it's allowed. Otherwise, we're not going to be talking. Ciao.